Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do Loquelic Part 2. Now the last demo that we did, I finally got back to grips with Loquelic after a long time being scared of it. So I've been having a bit of a play recently and my god, I love this thing. But can you produce the same thing twice? Absolutely no chance in hell. So I'm going to try and keep things very simple today with our usual setup here. The only thing I've added is a buffered mult because last time I got in trouble because I used a passive mult to send pitch to both here and also the volts per octave, which quite rightly, it will probably drop the pitch level a little bit. So we're going to use a buffered mult this time so we can modulate our filter at the same time as the pitch here. So I'm going to keep it simple. All we're going to use is Loquelic, a filter, a sidechain kick. We may use Mimeophon, not sure yet. Little sequence from Metropolix. And if I keep it short, that'll be it. If I get carried away, we'll bring in some modulation here. Now, these are all just set up ready to go. Everything has been load zeroed across all four, so there is no outputs coming here. Nothing. So they're all ready to go, all reset. Clock and reset is exactly the same as before. If you're interested, go and check out one of my other videos. But let's get started. So Loquelic Part 2. Let's see what sort of baseline we can get going with this and just see how some of these parameters happen as we modify a few things. Right, so let's start by just sending an output straight out of the Loquelic. And that's our hit. Right, so let's send our gate into our trigger. And then all we'll do is we'll just send that through our filter. And that will give us our initial patch. Right, let's send some pitch just to give it a little bit more interesting on the baseline. Same baseline I got set up last time. 6 steps, 2 steps here, so it's a 7-step pattern, so it'll just give us a bit of polymorphism. And then we'll send it into the volts per octave as well. So let's send that through our let's send it through our buffered mult, which is upside down here. So let's send the pitch there. And in fact, let's use a cable that we can easily see. And then we'll just also send that into our volts per octave here. So there's the difference. Because we've got octaves here, it makes sense to just open up the filter. Bring in a kick. And there's our basic patch. Now I haven't tuned this at all. Everything's reset. All these parameters here are at 0. Oh, the damp. The damp was on a full negative envelope here. So let's just reset that. And then all I'm going to do is, as I did previously, I'm just going to send the envelope out from the Loquelic because that's really useful. We'll just send that into the filter. So there's our baseline. Okay, now what can we do here? So we're using A as our main oscillator pitch here, and B synced. So with everything set at 0, if we change B, nothing happens. But if we increase our modifier, and then hit B, so the modifier works with the second oscillator here as A is the master. So let's stay down on the baseline there somewhere. Okay, what else can we do? Let's see how morph affects it. So this is with no modifier. So morph's having some impact up here past about 12 o'clock, so let's maybe go to about 2 and bring the mod back in. Get away with a bit less morph there. Maybe fold it. Too much for a baseline. Okay, what if we do an envelope send into our B filter here? It kind of gives us a bit of percussion, so maybe we could do something over here with Mimetic. If we do something on the main oscillator, well, that's going to probably go mad. And I've accidentally touched. Don't touch that when you're in coarse mode. In fact, I'm going to switch this back to fine mode. Okay, what if we do bit of percussion there sounds good with that envelope, so we could modulate that envelope. Damp sounds good. Or is that just damping too much the mod? Yeah, it damps the modulation here. Let's stay where we were. Okay, what if we switch B to our master? What happens? Right, I want B to be higher. Because then, if we loop through Mimeophon, we'll get some nice high frequencies. So let's try that. Okay, quite like the sound of that. What else can we do? Let's try some... Let's go back to A. Turn off the Mimeophon. Let's try some longer envelopes. So let's try and increase our release. And then our envelope time. Maybe bring the release back down so we got a long envelope. That's overriding, so we need to bring that down. As we're going through the Mimeophon, I can introduce some higher frequencies, so I can't resist it. We're going to do something from the Mimetic. So let's use the yellow cables and we'll set up all of our 4 modulation points here. See what we can introduce. So we want a bit of morph. So if we just shred that on a couple of enough. Fold. Yeah, we can cope with a bit of fold, so let's send the fold up and try a couple. Now I've introduced too many, so I'm going to undo that. Deliberate mistake, I forgot to set channel 2 here. Let's 0 channel 2 and go again. Okay, what does the damp give us? Kind of gives us something. What about the envelope? Right, let's go for a bit of damp, so let's not make the same mistake again. Set channel 4 and bring in a bit of damp. In fact, I'm just going to load shred the damp. And then we can just tame all that top end just by reducing the filter and also the envelope here. If we go too high on the attenuation here, although only having one voice, that does work quite well. So we've still got our underlying bass line. We've just got the occasional blip on the high frequencies here. So that was our morph here. This is our fold. Fold is okay. Mod is going to probably... We're already quite high on mod. But that's coming through quite high even though we're already down low on the frequency here, so let's just... Sounds like quite a good balance. We've kind of got that nice drone coming out from the high overall time here. But we've still got a short release. Okay, what else can we do? Let's try something a little bit extreme. So we're going to go into looping mode. Now, with looping mode, it uses the envelope time and release, and as soon as that finishes, it will re-trigger. But because our trigger's happening before that, we probably don't notice it. But if we start bringing these times down, we're going to start triggering ahead of our triggers coming from the Loquelics. That started. And if we keep going, we'll go into audio rate. Now, because our envelope's so low, we're not getting any envelope modulation. And we get some really interesting effects here. Sending the attack way up. Enough of that. That brings us back into our normal triggers, so let's switch back into trigger mode. So I think that's enough for this one. Don't want it to go on too long like the last one. I hope that's just given you a little bit of an insight into the way you can actually use Loquelic without worrying about it too much. So start by finding a nice, let's just come in here. So start by finding something that's reasonable as your main bass tone, and then increase your mod. If you're on A, increase your mod, set your B. You go high, you'll go metallic. That just kind of gives you, especially if you just lower your filter here, some nice, quite edgy sounds. Then send your envelope into your filter modulation. If you want to get a nice filter going, always send your volts per octave from your pitch. Always send that into the filter as well as, because if you just send it into there, it's all going to sound a bit muted when you've got your higher notes. So make sure you send them in, and then play with your envelope on your filter, and then just pretty much just play with the other parameters then. It does depend on which algorithm you're on here as to how these react, but I think mostly the mod gives you your synced oscillator effectiveness here. So I'm still learning it. I'm trying not to just create lasers out of it because it's so easy to lose where you are. I mean, if we just play here, you end up with something all over the place. So reset all of your envelopes back to 12 o'clock. Create a short enough release and time. Start at the beginning, and from there, see what you can find out. So I hope you found this interesting. I'm going to keep playing with it. I'm going to come up with some, I think I'm going to try some drones, especially through the Mimeophon, some very slow evolving drones with some LFOs maybe going through here, just to show that it's not just acid bass lines. You can get a lot of stuff out of it, especially some good effects. So I hope you've enjoyed that, like I said, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you've liked this video, please do click the thumbs up. It does mean a lot. I've had a look through all my stats, and I have one video that has twice as many likes as anything else, and it's getting twice as many views as everything else. So if you've liked this one, click the like. I'll make some more Loquelics. If you don't like it, click the dislike, but do tell me in the comments if you think we can do anything better, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.